That's the feeling we've all had. How new shoes would make you glad, but the best time you recall when you wore no shoes at all. Back the days.
Hi, and welcome to another edition of Living Lightly. I'm Dan Dorica. Today we're going to be having a comparison of two different technologies. One, an ancient technology, the scythe, and the other, modern technology, the string trimmer. This one is human-powered, and this one is often powered by fossil fuel. I find a place for both of them in the sustainable landscaping of my yard. Now you may wonder why I need to landscape my yard at all. Well, I'm trying to maintain a lot of fruit trees and vegetables using organic methods. And in order to reduce disease, you need a lot of airflow, also reduce competition. You don't want weeds growing up and taking over your garden. So I do have paths and I have areas of my yard that I want to maintain. And the open spaces I find are easy to maintain with the scythe because there's plenty of room to use this tool. The tighter spots around obstacles, find the string trimmer is much better. The string trimmer is electric, so I can power it with solar power from my off-grid power system, and the scythe is powered by me. It's been a pretty challenging season. If you're at all doubtful about climate change, I think the fact that we had 4 times our average rainfall in June and July is a sign that something's wrong. In over 30 years of gardening, this has been the first year that I've not been able to get most of my garden in simply because the ground is unworkable because it's wet all the time. We've been getting rainfalls, heavy rainfalls, about every 2 or 3 days for these 2 months, major months of the growing season. That's also meant that I've had to spend a lot of time scything because the more it rains, the more the weeds grow. I'm sure everyone is familiar with the string trimmer. This one is manufactured in China under probably questionable environmental and labor standards. It's made of complex materials, mostly plastic, and makes a lot of noise. Even the electric version does. Most of the time you would have a gas-powered string trimmer that would not only burn gasoline but also oil that's mixed in with the gasoline. So you're breathing in that exhaust. It's a very polluting type of engine. And you also need to wear ear and eye protection using this tool. And when after you've used it, you end up looking like this. Another thing about the string trimmer is that it has these strings that as you use it, they fall off into the environment, and so you're sort of dropping little bits of plastic into your yard as you use it. So probably a lot fewer of you are familiar with this tool, the scythe. You probably only know it from the Grim Reaper imagery. This has been around for hundreds of years and is a descendant of its ancestor, the sickle, which was used for harvesting grain. The scythe has also been used for harvesting grain, mowing hay, and obviously landscaping. Up until the early 20th century, the scythe was a vital farm tool, with grain harvesting being done by teams of scythers working in unison, often to the beat of a chant or song. But fairly recently, with the advent of fossil-fueled mowing and harvesting machines, the scythe has fallen out of favor. In a future world of limited fossil fuel and, of course, in a more sustainable community, the scythe will once again be seen as a vital tool. So different from the string trimmer, the scythe is made of simple materials. It's made of a hammered steel blade and a wooden handle called the snath that is custom fit for my dimensions. And the parts are interchangeable, so you can take a blade off and put a different blade on the snath. You can replace the snath if something happens to it. A lot of people actually make their own snaths out of just tree branches. And this blade was made in Austria, which has, I think, pretty good labor and environmental standards, different from China. Austria is one of the few places where they still make scythe blades. So I think I can feel much better about the way that this tool is made as compared to a lawnmower or a string trimmer. The other thing is that the scythe will last many, many years. Like this metal blade, the only reason that you might need to replace it is if you damage it severely by running into something in the grass, or you just wear down the blade from honing it so much. But that would probably take you, you know, over 10 years to do. One very obvious difference between the scythe and string trimmer is its quietness. Scything is a pleasant activity that gives you good exercise while allowing an almost trance-like state because it is nearly completely silent. It doesn't scare wildlife and can be done early in the morning without waking the neighbors. The loudest sound coming from scything is the honing. Peening is a loud activity associated with scything, but it only has to be done infrequently. Mostly what you hear from the scythe is the soft swishing sound of mowing. Most important, the scyther can listen to the sounds of nature around them, undisturbed by fossil-fueled motor noise. And this is what you look like after scything. Still in need of a dip in the pond, but not covered in grass, sweat, and exhaust. So part of my interest in talking about the scythe in this video is not just to compare it to the string trimmer, but to compare it to a lawnmower. The scythe can be a lot more efficient than the string trimmer, but the string trimmer is usually only used to mow around obstacles, while large open spaces are mowed with a lawnmower. And a lawnmower is usually powered by fossil fuel, gasoline, and often a mixture of gasoline and oil, so it is a very polluting machine. So this is the stone that I use for sharpening or honing my scythe blade. This is a manufactured stone. You can also get natural stones, and it does have to be stored in water while you're using it, so that's why I have this handy little carrier for the stone, and it just hooks right onto my belt loop. So about every 5 minutes or so, you're going to need to stop and hone your scythe blade. And it just takes about 15 to 30 seconds of sharpening on the top side of the blade. With these Austrian scythes, we only sharpen and put a bevel on the top side. And you use this ridge here as a guide for the angle that you're going to have for your stone. So you just slide the top of the stone along that ridge, and that will give you the right angle for here. You can do it with a sharper angle or more obtuse angle, but it just depends on what you're looking for. The sharper the angle, the thinner the edge is going to be, and the more vulnerable it'll be to getting chipped by something that you might hit. You might be wondering why I need this at all and why I have it. Well, I have found a place for it in maintenance of my yard. For many years I just used a scythe, and I found it hard to get the scythe into the tight spots, like scything around, say, my chicken wire fence around my garden. I'd end up with a 5 or 6 inch hole in the fence, which is not very good to have if you have a rabbit problem. Since then I've gotten the string trimmer, and I find that this works really well for trimming right up to obstacles such as fences or other things that I might have sitting in my yard that the scythe would either break or be broken by. Scythes are pretty vulnerable because they're thin steel, and if you hit something that's metal hidden in the grass, which there always seems to be something hidden in the grass, you can do a lot of damage to your scythe. So in teaching you about these sustainable living skills, I want to make connections between these changes in your life and real impacts on the earth. It might seem like a simple thing to use a scythe instead of a gasoline-powered string trimmer or a mower, but it can have a huge impact. We had some people here from Sandhill Farm, which is a nearby farm, an intentional community, and they gave a presentation about the Navajo in Black Mesa in the Southwest and how they have struggled against Peabody Coal Company and the coal mines and extraction industry, uranium mines on their land, and how they're being displaced and relocated from the land that gives them their livelihood and forced to live in this government housing where they basically have no options for an economy. Really, fossil fuel extraction, coal, oil, cannot be done without exploiting people and the environment, and it's done in a very destructive way. And this all goes back to your homes, to the products you buy, everything that you do. And even our population has been created by the extraction of fossil fuel. And that's what we're moving away from here at Dancing Rabbit. And the reason why I'm teaching you these skills is so that you can learn how to eliminate fossil fuel from your life. And in eliminating fossil fuel, we're not contributing nearly as much to the destruction of the planet and giving money to these companies like Peabody Coal, who are exploiting the environment and people. Now, if you live in the city or the suburbs, the scythe might not be the best tool for you if you're looking for that neatly manicured lawn, but there are other non-fossil fuel alternatives, such as the reel mower, which is human-powered, and the electric version of your typical gasoline-powered lawnmower. It's possible to run that electric version off of renewable power such as solar and wind. So that would be a more sustainable alternative. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video about sustainable mowing tools. Don't forget to visit my website, hardcoresustainable.com, and share and like this video. Thanks for watching. It's odd that we waste so much fuel heating our houses when we're bathed in so much energy by our nearest star, the sun. Curiously, our planet and our location on it in the Midwest were made for passive solar heating in the dead of winter. The sun's angle